Good morning. Welcome to the mothership. I'm the commander, like Sivrak. Thank you for joining us this morning. How's all you babies doing? Today's episode is brought to you by black coffee. Perhaps with a little scotch in it, who knows? And also Copenhagen snuff. It satisfies since 1822. Also, this episode, this would be a good day to be out in the woods, but I don't got no woods to go to right now. But this is also brought to you by this coat, by Orvis. This is my grandfather's coat. The World War II veteran father who I showed off his knife in an earlier video. This is one of his hunting jackets. And I've been keeping it for many years. I don't wear it too much. It's about the only rip in it, I think. But man, Orvis used to make a hell of a good product. Look at that. So it's Orvis. It looks like it's wool lined. Whatever kind of 1950s plastic that is, I don't know. Corduroy. It's great. Great jacket. This was my grandfather's jacket, and I only wear it every once in a while. But I should wear it more. But anyway, also brought to you by this jacket. Motherfuckers you gotta love a good coat. If you're from the woods or the country, you know, you would appreciate a good pair of boots and a good coat and a good hat. You know, I think that's just the way it is. You know, what's your priorities in life? You know, you got good boots and a good hat, good coat, good rifle, and a good knife. You don't need nothing else. You don't really need nothing else, do you? Anyway, thank you for joining us. For those of you who are still here, hey, we're going to have another vintage figure opening. And for those of you who've been following my channel, you can probably guess what line and what film. Pardon me one second, I forgot something. I did make some notes on this one because I did make some notes on the infamous lac paper plate. Of course, these notes are just written over the old notes. So, how about that? How about that? As long as you use a different, you know, color pen or pencil, you can probably figure it out. But anyway, this figure was sent to me by a fan of the channel who chooses to remain anonymous for whatever reason. If you change your mind, you know who you are. If you change your mind, feel free to make a comment or message me, because I feel like credit should be where credit's due. This is an awesome thing, and I appreciate it. So, getting right into it, we are going to open, of course, another vintage Dick Tracy figure. This character, of course, is Influence, played in the film by the famous Henry Silva, who is he was the baddie in one of my favorite films, which we will talk about later. I'll give you a look at the card here. Calling Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy, Influence is, what's he doing? Is hypnotizing an armored car driver. Shout out to Only One Kenobi, because him and I are the only ones that know that you use "an" before the word that begins with a vowel. You know, so Influence is hypnotizing an armored car, not a armored car. It's an. And I remember that from school, because I fucking paid attention, regardless of what people fucking thought. But, yeah, shout out to Only One Kenobi. An armored car driver. Fucking cool. Proper English on the fucking cards, man. So yeah, we'll give you a quick look at the figure. Of course, the outside, you know, everything on the front of these Dick Tracy cards are the same except for this bubble. Everything under Calling Dick Tracy is reprinted for each character. I'll give you a look at the back. I know Dean likes the comics on the back. The fucking comic is fucking cool, man. You don't see cards like this anymore, do you guys? I mean, where do you see anything like this anymore? With this much Left Coast graphics, shout out to you. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to have a conversation with you about, you know, professionally, what kind of time and effort it takes to make a card like this versus, you know, say a card like these, right? Which are bleh, pretty bleh, right? These being these Power of the Force 2. Great figures, shitty cards. Shitty cards. Back of the cards are cool. Reminds me of the old days. But anyway, yeah. So we'll give you a look at the back of the card. This is the same on each, we've never read that, but it says gang, I can't read this backwards for some reason because the color is fucking me up. Gangland 30 style, comma, an underworld of deadly crime bosses and their vicious thugs, their turf, their game, their rules. They didn't count on his law. Actually, that's the first time I read that, and that's terrible. I don't know who wrote that, but whatever. But nice artwork here. Got his can of chili. On the hot plate here is I'll kind of come in for you, so I give you a couple panels at a time. You can pause it there. Oh, actually, you should pause it there. And I think the gist of all of this is that, you know, for some reason, influence just doesn't work on Dick Tracy. I don't know. It's like this is the Jedi mind tricker of Dick Tracy, you know, but it don't work on him. So pretty cool figure, played by Henry Silva. I'm going to show you the back real quick. You can take a look at that if you wish. And of course, all the other figures. There's one on eBay right now, everybody. I think that I don't think it's over, and I don't even think anybody's bid on it yet. But the opening bid is like $630. Talk about a plummet in fucking price. That's crazy. I mean, $600 is obviously way more than I will ever spend on fucking anything, basically, you know. But except maybe a sail barge, man. One of these days I'm gonna hit it big and I'm gonna find a sail barge, because I do want, and I don't like to be that kind of coveting kind of a person, you know, but damn, that fucking sail barge is badass. I don't know where I was when that came out, but I missed that motherfucker, and I should have not missed that, because $500 originally for that, I could see that. I could see that. And I would populate that motherfucker with a pre-Return of the Jedi. I mean, I would have some cool-ass shit on my sail barge, man. Oh! But anyway, let's get back to Henry Silva. This is obviously going to be a little bit longer than I thought because I'm getting off topic. I would like to point out that Influence does carry a Colt 32, which is very interesting. Now, I wish I had the other figures here. But this gun is definitely a different mold than what they're calling the 1911, which is very cool. It looks similar, but yeah, I could agree that this is like a 1907 Colt 32 automatic, hammerless. You know, I could see that. But we'll get into that later. So it's the back of the card. Again, thank you. You know who you are. And incidentally, like, you know, I don't have a P.O. box, but if anybody just feels the need to support the channel, which I would more than appreciate, just hit me up on Instagram, you know. There's a couple people in the community, if you know them, you know, they have my address. So, like, if you know who to ask, you can get it. So, you know. But yeah, let's check out Influence. Before we open this real quick, I do want to, 10 minutes into the video, I do want to, collecting keep on collecting. I hope you're still here, because this is the Andino. Knowledge is power. You ready for a little? Now look, this is Henry Silva. This character is played by Henry Silva, one of my favorite character actors of all time. I jotted down some notes. I'm going to run through a few of his films that he was in that maybe some of y'all would know. I don't know. I didn't realize that I'm actually the old timer of the fucking community. You know what I mean? Like, I watch black and white movies, and I watch whatever, Grit TV and all that. Like, I didn't realize I'm the old timer. But that's why you're here, for the knowledge of all sorts of things. Anyway, look, Henry Silva was born in 1926 in Brooklyn, New York. I spent a little bit of time trying to research, like, what he was doing during the war, and, like, I can't find anything. Dylan, I think you can probably figure something out. Oh, hey, keep on collecting. Just commented on my last. Thank you, guys. But so, you know, he was born in 1926. It says he started acting school in like 1952 or something, but he was born in 1926. So he's like the prime age to go off to war. So I read his obituary. I found his obituary, and there's just like a gap in his shit. So I don't know what he did. Maybe he was a conscientious objector or whatever. It'd be interesting to know. His film debut was in Viva Zapata, 1952, which I remember. I've seen that film a long time ago, because I watch any film that has Viva in it, first of all. And if it's Viva Zapata, then I'm absolutely gonna fucking watch it. That's one of my most favorite times in history. It's the Mexican Revolution, when the modern world met the cowboy world. Like, it's fucking crazy times. Henry Silva was also in The Tall T, which I hope most of you have seen, with Randolph Scott. That was 1957. I'm going to come back to this next movie, Ocean's 11, the original Ocean's 11. He was part of the original 11 in 1960 with Sinatra and the Rat Pack. Henry Silva was also in The Manchurian Candidate, 1962. He was in Alligator, 1980. He was in the Burt Reynolds masterpiece, Sharky's Machine, 1981. Escape from the Bronx, he was also in. Cannonball Run 2. Also, he was the main baddie in the 1989 hit movie and debut of Steven Seagal, Above the Law. Which I'd almost forgot. But, Henry Silva was definitely typecast always as a bad guy. Later on in life, he was a gangster quite a bit. But in his early career, he played, he played a lot of Native Americans. He played a lot of Apaches, and he did a good job at it. Also, does anybody remember the was it a TV series? Does anybody remember Mr. Moto and the Return of Mr. Moto? That was Henry Silva. Not a Japanese guy. He's not Japanese, and he's not Native American. He's like Spanish Italian, but they saved money on the makeup, I guess. I don't know. Also, very interesting fact about Henry Silva. He was the voice. He was the voice of the animated Bane in the Batman series that started in 94, and then also the new Batman series, 1998. Henry Silva was the voice of Bane, which I didn't know that. So that's I thought that was fucking cool. I'm gonna go back to one film. One of the main reasons that I wanted to talk about Henry Silva and his films. There's a movie, a film, if you will, called The Bravados. It came out in 1958, starring Gregory Peck. And I think Joan Collins is in it too. So 1958, Joan Collins, primo. I do want to say, 15 minutes into the thing, y'all need to go see The Bravados, starring Gregory Peck. Henry Silva is the main bad guy. And anyway, y'all need to watch that film. And if you have seen it, please, in the comments, tell me what you thought of it. I think maybe it doesn't ring with a lot of people today because people, I don't know. But you know, a lot of that old shit had a lot of meaning. But it only had meaning for people that lived that shit. So I think that's why, you know, a lot of people, they want to just go off into fantasy because they live in fantasy worlds, you know. But y'all watch The Bravados, 1958, Gregory Peck. It's some heavy shit, man. And I love that film. And it quite possibly could be, it's definitely in the top Western films of all time. It's in the top Western films, not just Western films. The psychology and the shockingness behind it is just, you know, it's unreal. I really recommend that people go watch that film. And that's really the main thing that I wanted to tell everybody. That's kind of like my little secret diamond inside the toy review. Go see The Bravados, 1958, starring Henry Silva and Gregory Peck. Okay? Please do that for Lack. I appreciate it. Okay? Let's open this pig up. Let's open it up. I don't even know why I'm opening these, you know, but I'd like to get them all carded, but they do look cool on the shelf, man, with their guns and shit in their hand. So, hey, let's get into it. Let's open them up. Let's put his holster on his leg and put his gun in his hand and his crowbar. The character influence, of course, he's like a psychiatrist or something. He has medical training, and he you know, he has the power of hypnosis or persuasion or whatever. That's his deal. Shout out to you, only one. Oh, hey, this one. You know when you get a, I mean, I don't know about anymore, but you remember when you used to get like pool toys that you blew up for the, you know how that rubber smells? That's what this one smells like. This don't smell like none of the other rubbers. Strange. So let's get him out of here. There's quite a few little details on this figure. Check the limbs real quick. There's a little paint rub there, which I don't like, but it's okay. One arm is a kind of loose, but dig this. So he has these jaunty, almost spats again. Okay. Here's influence. He has, I don't know what the deal is with the spider, though that does look like a tick, really. But so check out the detail. He has a stethoscope. He has a syringe. He has a tick or a spider. I don't know what the fuck. He's got something in his pocket here. I imagine it's a pocket watch. You can actually, you can actually see where the chain goes in and there's a bulge in the pocket. How fucking cool is that? I never noticed that. And for some reason he has a rip on his pant leg. So that's strange. That is very strange. But yeah, so pretty nice figure. Good paint detail. Doesn't really... It kind of looks like Henry Silva from the film. About like that, don't it? Henry Silva was definitely one of the people in Dick Tracy that they did not put a whole lot of makeup on. Because he was kind of a Jack Palance fucking kind of scary looking motherfucker anyway, wasn't he? So yeah, dig that. Let's check out his accessories. We have a crowbar and the Colt 32 pistol. Also, we have a holster, but look at the length. And I've seen this. This goes over his leg. It's like the only Dick Tracy figure that has a... But it's a leg holster. How crazy is that? They must have just spent so much they made all the other figures with all those giant bandoliers that are way too big to do anything. And then by the time they got to this guy, they were like, well, we're out of goddamn rubber. So that is strange. You'd think that they could have just done this for everybody. It ain't easy being green, that's for sure. We're going to try it. Just bear with me. God dang it. I don't even know if I'm going to get that. Look for a short or something later with all the open figures that I have from this line so far. But let's see here. Let me try to get this. Fill your hands, you son of a bitch. Does anybody remember what film that's from? I hope you do. What's strange is on the back of the package. I don't know why this guy has a crowbar. That doesn't seem... Does anybody... I think it's on Prime still, but you can watch the original Dick Tracy TV serial. I can't remember the guy's name who plays Dick Tracy. But for all you horror fans out there, shout out to Captain Spaulding. There's an awesome episode of the Dick Tracy serial. And of course, all of them are Dick Tracy meets whoever. Boy, this gun is huge. There we go. So if y'all are interested in any of the original Dick Tracy serials, my favorite always has been Dick Tracy meets Gruesome. And of course, Gruesome was played by our favorite Frankenstein, Boris Karloff, who, kind of looks like this figure a little bit in a way, kind of, not really. But yeah, so dig that. Henry Silva as Influence. Not too shabby, huh? So, we'll try to get this, holster on him. And then maybe we'll do a little short or a reel or something. But this goes on there like that. It might even go, I don't know. We'll figure that out. It's interesting because on the back, I really kind of just noticed this the other day. But if you look at the back of these cards, you can see none of these figures, the ones that I know about, that I have seen or have, none of them have their belts on. Right? Like Dick Tracy, he has a shoulder holster that we put across his chest. Pruneface has a bandolier. This guy comes with a bandolier also, flat top. And then if you look right there, Henry Silva, he doesn't have his leg holster on that we just opened. Also, if you look real hard at the guns in these guys' hand, Dick Tracy, Henry Silva over here, the brow. This one's fairly expensive, hard to get. They're not holding their guns properly. See, you can plainly see that they're holding the gun. I have a gun handy, but it's not going to show you what I want to show you. But if you notice, look real close. They're not holding it by the handle. They're holding it like a fucking salami. So that's interesting. And none of them have their belts on. Anyway, hey, thanks again. You know who you are for sending me this. I appreciate it. And we're going to add it to the collection. We got 3 so far. I think so. Yeah, we got 3. We found Dick Tracy, we found Pruneface, and now we have Influence. I'm not trying to get the entire line, but I am trying to get the ones, I'm trying to get the characters I like, We're hoping to find an Itchy, a Mumbles, Flat Top. We'd like to get a Big Boy. We'd like to get all the gangsters, except we don't need Lips. We don't want Steve the Tramp. But, you know, Itchy, Mumbles, Influence, Shoulders, Prune Face, Rodent, who, you know, wasn't a cool character, but it's a cool looking figure. Flat Top, The Brow, and Big Boy. Those are the ones I can really leave the other ones. I'm not, you know, I don't know. I'm not a completist, I guess. But yeah, I hope that this was interesting for everybody, and I hope everybody learned a little something. And again, the main reason for me to make this long-ass video was not so much about Dick Tracy or so much about this. It was about Henry Silva in the film The Bravados, starring Gregory Peck. Y'all need to watch that. Y'all need to watch that film. It's pretty heavy, man. It's pretty heavy. So yeah. Also, check out the original Dick Tracy series, I believe on Prime. Check out Lack's favorite episode, Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome. Gruesome. I think in the cover thing, he's like actually choking somebody. Like Boris Karloff is choking somebody, like just like he was choking the werewolf. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. There's also his sidekick is like a fucking weird dude. But it's cool. Anyway, look, this has been Lack Sivrak on the Mothership. I appreciate everybody out there. If y'all would like to support the channel in any way, y'all let me know, because we could use it. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you on down the trail. Hopefully there'll be a couple more things just open. I'd like to get a few more from this line. I have a couple things in the wings, maybe a couple customs, and we'll just take it from there, all right? I appreciate everybody. Have a lovely whatever fucking day of the week it is, and all that jazz. Anyway, appreciate you guys, all right? On the bus seat.